Hi everyone, happy Super Bowl Sunday. I'm Sarah with Divine Love Healing. If you are new to my channel, welcome. Please like, subscribe, share. I would love to grow my channel in 2021. There's a lot of cool features of YouTube that I can unlock and bring more content, community, posts, things like that to all of you, the more subscribers that I get. So I would greatly appreciate that. As you all can see, I am supporting the Chiefs today. Got my obsidian arrowhead on and my red and black gear. And not really, I usually root for the AFC just because I'm a Bengals fan. I'm from Ohio. But honestly, this year, I'm kind of just rooting against Tom Brady. Sorry if you're a fan of his, but that's really where my alignment is. And I also identify with the Native American spirit. And actually, I didn't intend to digress into the story here, but I stayed at the capital of Navajo Nation back in 2018. I went there by myself, and I was just surprised. I think I was probably the only non-Native American person that was there. It's in the middle of nowhere, a very poor area. I stayed at a Quality Inn, and everyone was just so nice. And I went to the Veterans Memorial Park and met the nicest man, and his name was Ron, and which is interesting because my grandfather's name Ron, and I bought some handmade jewelry from him, and he was wearing a Chiefs hat, and he was I don't know, I ended up going back and buying more stuff from him, and we just talked, and I gave him some crystals, and um, I just wonder how he's doing now. And I bet he's so excited with the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. So just a neat little story, I guess, and a connection that, even if it wasn't Tom Brady, I would still, I'm sure, be rooting for the Chiefs. So anyway, I digress. Welcome. I'm here with a pick a card. There is so much going on in February right now, just so much. As you all probably know, I think I might have done a video on this maybe on Instagram if you follow me there. We're in the midst of Mercury retrograde. We're in Aquarius season, and Valentine's Day, of course, is next Sunday, I think. Yeah, a week from today. This coming Thursday, Thursday, the 11th, we have a new moon in Aquarius. And the really special thing about it, there's a new moon in Aquarius. We're in Aquarius season. Mercury is retrograde in Aquarius. I'm going to pull this up on my phone just because I know I won't remember, but I think it's stellium is the word, the fancy planetary word, but it activates the Aquarius stellium. A stellium is when we have a lineup of planets in one sign of the zodiac. At the time of this new moon coming up this week, the Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Jupiter, and Saturn will all be in Aquarius, which creates a supercharged energy field. And if you want more information on that, this is you can Google Forever Conscious. She always has some great insight and updates on the new moons, full moons, different planetary things that are happening. So I wanted to come on here. I just felt called today to do this because I don't know through the week if I'm going to have time, and the new moon obviously is Thursday, and then we have Valentine's Day Sunday. So I thought I would just go ahead and pull together a pick a card here. And this pick a card has got a lot of different aspects to it. But before we get to that, just to touch base again on this planetary alignment, what I was, reading some of on her site, what I'm kind of getting with my own guidance and things that I've been doing within my own journey is, working through things, and a lot with it being retrograde, right? That's where stuff keeps coming back around that maybe you thought you had healed or worked through. So, issues around resentment, forgiveness, letting go. And Aquarius is an air sign, even though it's the water bearer. So it could be this emotional, process of cutting through things, working through issues, and really just, I'm getting like elevating yourself to the next level. There's a lot, with all of those planets at play. I just feel like so many of us are going to be affected by this energy, if that makes sense. I don't know a lot about astrology, but it just seems like it's really potent, really powerful, and it's a good time to do some self-care, some clearing, and just really work on what is holding you back. Now, again, this is a soul connections pick a card, but what I'm focusing on, is a variety of things here. So we've got, what's going on with this connection. There's going to be some cards centered around what's going on. Is this potentially with it retrograde? Is it an ex coming back, just to close out a cycle? Is it somebody that, is a new love coming in? Is it a twin flame? Soul kind of like a, that type of a, what's it, mirroring energy, the triggering, that type of stuff. What is, maybe who is this person? What is the purpose of the connection? What is the status of the connection? We're going to look at a message from them as far as where they are in this. We're going to look at triggers, things that really, when we go talk about that clearing and the resentment energy and the forgiveness energy, what is it maybe that you need, consciously or unconsciously to work through, to clear. We're also then going to get into some advice from Spirit as far as, where you are. There's going to be several cards on that. Okay. So I'll show you guys, and we'll timestamp this as always. But again, it's kind of a play here of the new moon, of Valentine's Day especially could be triggering. And there could be a lot of resentment building up too if you're in a separation from someone, or you're wanting, maybe you're tired of being alone. You're seeing all of the happy posts, on Facebook with the couples and everybody getting their flowers and, and you don't have a Valentine, and what you need to kind of keep in check. And I know it's an easy time to be triggered, right? When you're in that situation, but things aren't always what they seem on social media. It doesn't mean you would, take pride or take joy or happiness in somebody not being truly happy, right? We all want the best for everyone, but try not to compare your situation to others and think that just because somebody's gushing and posting about their beautiful life on social media, or they got flowers, that they have a happy, perfect relationship. So remember, at the end of the day, the best relationship you can have is with yourself. And so that's what I always try to stress to everybody, to focus on that inner healing, that inner balance within yourself, right? And then that's going to bring in beautiful things for you. And if you're not with someone yet, being happy in your own energy is much, much better place to be than being in a toxic relationship, or something that's not as perfect as it seems, if that makes any sense. Okay, so you probably saw the preview, but in case you did not, because sometimes they flash really quickly when I put the preview up. So we've got the number 1 card is Strength. These are vitamin keystones. They all have different attributes and energies with them. And so the purpose of these, which I am selling these, and I will probably be doing a live sale on Facebook here at some point. But if you're interested in any of these ones you see, or you're wondering if I have certain other ones, like I have joy and love and family and faith and I think gratitude is in here. If it's not, then I have that one. But no, gratitude's not in here. These are $24. They come with little golden nuggets as well, and these are stones for manifestation. So you can put them on your altar. You can meditate with them. They have gold and silver and some different components, and they're just really super infused energetic stones. So $24 each. If you have any interest, let me know. So pile 1 again is Strength, and these have little designs on the back too. I think this one is, I think that's the planetary symbol for Earth, I believe. Strength. This is Peace. And this one sort of looks like I don't know if that's Venus, maybe. Not sure. Peace is number 2. And number 3 pile is Dream. And I'm not sure what the symbol is on the back of that one. Some of them are angelic, some of them are planetary. And it's got a really pretty, like almost like a moonstone, a rainbow color in it. Okay, so again, number 1, Strength. So we're going to put that there. Number 2 is Peace. And number 3 is Dream. Okay, so real quick, we're going to run through the cards that are being used. So we've got Mystic Moon's Arrows of Love Oracle. She's actually got this one on special, $10 off. So if you like this deck, this might be a good time to purchase that from her. Arrows of Love Oracle, Mystic Moon. So there's that. We've got the Messages of Love Oracle cards. They've got this pink on them from All Things Intuitive. We've got the Romance Angels by Doreen Virtue. We've got the Sacred Union Tarot by me. The information to purchase that deck is down below. We've got another one by Mystic Moon, Twin Flame Messages. I thought the rose was really pretty for Valentine's Day. We've got Triggers and Shadows Oracle deck by me. So that one is also down below if you want to click. The link should take you to a page where you can purchase one or both. We've also got the Art of Love Tarot. This is actually a really pretty one, a really cool, unique deck because the suits are different. So we'll see if I can remember them. We've got the Divine Feminine Healing by Mystic Moon Oracles. And then last but not least, we've got the Moonology cards. Okay, so there's a lot of different energy here with these. So, all right, we are going to get started with number 1, which was Strength again. Okay. So the first few cards that I'm pulling are, like I said, intended to get into the energy of the connection, what's going on with the connection, who is this person, what's going on with you, them, what has happened in the past. I mean, we'll see what all kinds of stuff comes up here. Wow. Okay, so this one is actually pretty straightforward, so that's a good thing. You know, what I'm getting here is that, and again, you guys know I don't like to make predictions because people have free will and those types of things, but this is actually, this is a situation I'm getting clearly. It's a what what you're perceiving, what you're believing, but what's coming through with the messages from Spirit. You know, this is definitely a something you've perceived as a divine partnership, which could be a twin flame, soul connection, mirroring relationship. I'm getting that this is something. This is a relationship that has awakened you. Most likely, it is a relationship that, and the reason I say, okay, so the Mystic Moon card, the Arrows of Love, we've got partnership, and you can see that there's swans in here. It's just beautiful. Swans mate for life, partnership, the divine partnership. That's the nature of the connection. It's also it's a protected, sacred bond. Okay, it says you are safe and divinely guided. So this is a situation where you've been given signs from Spirit. You've synchronicities. You've been on this path with this person probably for quite a while, maybe months, maybe years, where you feel like it's been a divinely guided partnership. That being said, you've been in this, receptive energy. I'm getting that you, the viewer, right? Again, you could take what resonates, toss the rest, but you most likely were the Queen of Cups here. And, Queen of Cups is, they're emotionally open. They're expressing their feelings. They're, nurturing, loving, receptive. You may be dealing with a water sign, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Doesn't have to be, but I'm getting that you were open to this. You wanted this, right? And this person was scared. It was, they, for whatever reason, weren't ready for this level of commitment. They weren't ready to, the strength is here too, which is interesting. They didn't have the strength to express themselves, to acknowledge you in that same emotional capacity is what I'm getting. The message that they're giving is, I feel safer in the silence, right? They don't have the strength to open themselves up to you. And therefore, what the resentment that you need to work through and forgive and walk away from, if you've not walked away from the situation yet, is accepting crumbs, right? So being in this receptive Queen of Cups energy, you want to be in a position where someone shows up as your equal. You don't want to be accepting and allowing for crumbs, right? So crumbs are here as the trigger and shadow in this connection. Hot and cold, shallow, non-committal, right? So they feel safer in the silence. They offer you a crumb, then they disappear. This is something that, I think has really just over its time, it's taken a toll. And you have, you've just said, you know what, if you haven't, you may be at this point now where it's like, it's just enough of this. Like a crumb is not a partnership. It's not someone showing up equally. But what I'm getting is that, in addition, I said earlier that this person may have awakened you. I feel like they are growing and they are expanding in this time of silence. They really are. I think they are maybe awakening as a result of this connection. Maybe you walking away from them, has forced them to really turn inward and to turn to their own guidance, right? This divine guidance. Because we've got, this is from the Art of Love Tarot. This is the universe expansion. Isn't that beautiful? I think it's like a lotus flower, and it's got almost all of the colors of the chakras, right? Because we've got the inward. It's like going inward and finding out, discovering who they are. This expansion, this growth. The universe is 21 is associated with the world in traditional tarot, so it's like closing out this cycle where they realize, they're not understanding like that they weren't ready for what you were. They can't keep, you're not going to accept crumbs anymore, and so they're just staying away. But the interesting thing for me is that the Romance Angels card is very soon. Now, I always laugh because, obviously I've been using this deck for years. It's one of the first Oracle decks that I purchased, 4 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago. And very soon, it's like that comes out, all the time. It's like, well, you said very soon, like 3 years ago. So what does that mean? And when the angels and the guides, they give you the divine timing, it doesn't always align up with what we in human time perceive as very soon. But given the fact that, we are coming up on Valentine's Day, Mercury retrograde is here, Aquarius energy, with it being an air sign and all the planets in air sign, I do feel like, and this is just stuff I'm channeling right now and I'm getting hot, talking about it. I feel like, for some of you, again, it may not be for everybody, but it's, possible very soon, you may hear from this person. And even if it's just to kind of close out, this cycle, and so that you guys can move forward. But I'm getting here again with the swans, the partnership. It's a connection that is protected, divinely guided, and it's a connection that's awakened you. Does that necessarily mean that you'll end up together? It's hard to say. But what I'm getting here is that you're on the right path. Whether or not this person does meet you at the level that they need to be at, to be in this receptive, loving, to come be a king. And again, take the gender how it resonates. You are doing the right thing here, right? By not accepting crumbs, by focusing on yourself. And this is also, with the new moon energy, it's interesting because the new moon is coming up very soon, and it talks about, this card says, clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. So some of you may have, maybe been unclear, when you're manifesting, it's a fine line to attach onto a specific person and a specific outcome with that specific person. And also, you don't want to do that and be too specific, but you don't want to just be vague. Like, I want to meet someone. Well, what does that mean? You want to meet someone. Okay. You could meet, a nasty person when you go to the grocery store. You've met someone new, right? No, you want to meet someone. Okay. You want to meet someone new. You want to meet somebody who shows up, who has XYZ qualities, who is ready for XYZ, who wants these things, very specific, set out. And you can certainly include the qualities of the person that, maybe that you ideally, the specific person you're thinking about, but leave it open that it doesn't have to be that person, right? So for some of you, maybe you haven't clearly set out to the universe, because if you were accepting crumbs and now you're kind of in this energy where you're just hanging on to the concept of the divine partnership with this specific person and waiting for them and hoping that they do communicate with you very soon, you're still kind of stuck in that energy, and you need to move forward and expand, right? Because this is about expansion, expanding your options and your outlook on what else is out there. So just keep that in mind. So for the advice from Spirit, again, was part of that, but they all kind of blend together, really. So from the Divine Feminine Healing by Mystic Moon, we've got revenge. Living my best life helps me to deal with any injustices. So, this could be one of the things that you also need to let go of. It's like, if you're still connected to this person on social media, are you posting things? What type of energy are you, you know what I mean? Are you posting a selfie solely to try to get their attention? Are you posting yourself out all the time with your friends or living it up or doing whatever because you're hoping that they see this and it's like, well, I'm out, look at what you're missing? Because if you're in that type of energy, you're still attached to them, if that makes sense. So, sometimes in this situation, in order to move on, if you're hoping to get validation from somebody by the things you're posting on social media, or you're disappointed if they don't like your picture or acknowledge it, it may be best to just unfriend them. I did that myself. Wasn't easy, but it's like, it's to the point where you realize it's an unhealthy attachment that you either stop sharing things on social media because you don't want to be triggered when they don't acknowledge you, or you're posting something only, you realize, like, why am I really posting this? If this person wasn't potentially going to see it, would I even share this? And if you're really digging down deep into like why you're doing these things, if it's for validation, if it's for revenge, if it's to show them, if it's not just about you living your best life, that's not the right energy to be in. So that's what Spirit, I think, is saying, that you need to let go of these attachments. Yes, living your best life helps you deal with injustices, but what type of energy are you in when you're doing that? Are you doing it to prove a point, or are you really truly in that joyful vibration, living it up and enjoying every moment versus focusing on someone, if that makes sense? Now, the beautiful thing is, with this Moonology card, you get your hard work is paying off. New moon in Capricorn. Now, of course, this is a new moon in Aquarius, but it's still interesting. This is a new moon energy. Capricorn is earth. It's tangible. It's physical, right? This is talking, I feel like, about manifesting something physically tangible very, very soon. So use this energy that's coming up. Cut any, if you haven't cut this person off and you're accepting crumbs, I'm getting clearly you've got to move on. Doesn't mean that this, is over. It just means that there's a shift in this energy that needs to occur. You've got to have strength. You've got to have strength to stop accepting crumbs. And being Queen of Cups doesn't mean that you have to accept crap, that you have to accept less than you deserve, okay? You've got to get in that balanced energy, and that's, I think, with that air, that swords, that Queen of Swords is an Aquarius air sign, bringing that energy in, right? And truly living your best life for yourself, not to prove a point to someone else, okay? And I'm getting that, something is going to shift very, very soon for you. Either it's you shifting into this new vibration, which will bring someone else in, or it's going to make this person, continue furthering their awakening and their recognition and their expansion and their growth when you start pulling away and you start truly focusing on you and versus being attached to them. So I hope that resonated, but I feel like that was a very, very positive, very beautiful message. Okay, so number 2. Okay, number 2 was peace, I believe. Let's hope. Yeah, because I think, dream was the little one. It was last. All right. So if you chose peace, this is really beautiful. We're going to see what comes out. That's hilarious. I can't believe this, guys. This is so funny. You'll see what I mean in a minute. Wow. I feel like what's going on with this one is that you have been hurt deeply by someone. Most likely an ex. Clearly, obviously, if you're not with them, they're an ex, right? But somebody that you really were, with. It wasn't like this, with number one, that maybe it's like a twin flame dynamic where you're hot and cold and you're not really with somebody. I feel like this one you really were either in a committed relationship with them, or you really, you dated them for quite a while. And you really opened yourself up to them. And you got hurt. And so I feel like your heart is on lockdown right now. Like that's the energy that I'm getting pretty strongly. I'm not really getting for most of you that there's a specific person involved here. I mean, in the sense of somebody who's in your life right now that you're trying to get back with, if that makes any sense. I think you are afraid to let new love in or let anyone new in because of the hurt that you went through. So from the arrows of love, we've got key to my heart. So, and you'll see what I mean. It's kind of like this, well, again, they always go together, right? But the key to my heart, it's like your heart is under lock and key. Like, it's like, you know what, I'm not doing this again. There's really nothing showing up as far as a current dynamic with somebody. I think it's all about you and your heart and healing that energy. So from the Messages of Love Oracle, we got acceptance. Everything happens for a reason. Okay. This is also Romance Angels. Let your friends help you. Ask for and accept support from others. So I feel like, either this could be a situation where, maybe your friends are trying to get you to go out. Obviously with the pandemic, maybe that's not as feasible, but maybe they're trying to, I don't know, do Zoom chats or maybe go out, get together, distance, introduce you to people, and you're just like, I'm not interested. I've got my walls up, my boundaries, and it's like to the extreme, right? So in number one, we had the Queen of Cups come out. Here we've got the Queen of Swords. And I was just talking about how that Queen of Swords energy needs to be a little more balanced in number one, and for some of you. And here she is right here. So this is about authentic, courageous boundaries. You may be an air sign, but we're also in that Aquarius energy now. Aquarius, Gemini, Libra. This is about boundaries, but what I'm picking up maybe is with the heart on lockdown, and you're getting advice about letting your friends help you, is that you've maybe just shut yourself off from this. Okay, so and there's more coming along those lines. We'll get to that. So the message from the Twin Flame Messages is, would you reject me? I'm not getting that this is a person. Now for some of you, perhaps that's like spot on, hitting what your feelings going on in your situation, so take that. What I'm getting is this more your fears of being rejected, and that's why your heart is on lockdown, because of this past pain. Okay, so getting that you need to make peace with your past and make peace with that and open your heart. And where we're going with this, right, one of the first advice from Spirit in this Divine Feminine Healing, frozen in time, I choose to make peace with my past. I mean, you guys, you know what I'm going to say, right? You can't make this shit up. Like, you can't make it up. Sometimes the Queen of Swords comes out as the Ice Queen. Sometimes she's just, because she's got too many walls up, too many boundaries, it's like cutting everything off in a way and cutting herself off. So that's definitely the energy coming through. And you can even see like the blue, it looks like a very cool energy back in the background there. I choose to make peace with my past. So what's interesting is for the shadow, the trigger and shadow, cultural difference. Now, for some of you, this is like a taboo, a judgment, a strain that's taken place. So I'm just getting from this card, based on all the other cards, again, this could be like this one where it's like one, a specific person that this resonates for. But I'm getting that it's more of a being out of alignment, because the black and the white here to me is like the yin and the yang, that balance of energy that you want. And I feel like it's out of balance with those swords up, with that wall, with that heart on lockdown, with the peace not being made and getting balanced into that energy of yin and yang and being open and receptive to someone coming in. So the Tarot of Love is the Ace of Angels, which is the Ace of Swords. And the Ace of Swords is a difficult new beginning. It's difficult to start over, right? Of all the aces, it's the most challenging one, because it's swords energy. Swords, you're very much in your head more than your heart. It's about getting those wings again. It's about, this is says wisdom. For me, it's like acceptance. Everything happens for a reason. Focusing on the lessons that were at play for you. Maybe that's where you can let your friends help you. If your friends are spiritual or just really insightful, maybe, asking them for different ways to support you, right? Versus venting and anger and crying and, hashing things out again. Maybe you can approach that differently and say, what do you think my lesson was in this situation, and see what they say. Sometimes it's harder for us, with our own energy, our own stuff, to see what is trying to be shown to us, right? And having that detached that third party come in and say, gosh, you know what? Because a lot of times they probably maybe saw that what was happening, and they didn't want to intervene or didn't want to offer like, this person's not good for you, or blah, 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 blah. But, maybe now that it's over, they can feel comfortable when you ask that question, like, what do you think this is trying to show me? What lessons do I need to learn from this situation so that it doesn't happen again? They might say, well, gosh, we noticed you have a pattern of accepting, whatever it is, like you put up with this, or you weren't speaking your truth, or whatever it was in this relationship. It mirrored a lot what happened with the one before. And then you might go, oh my gosh, yeah, that makes perfect sense. And then it's something that you can start consciously working on, and accepting, right, why all this stuff happened, gaining that wisdom so that you can, this is actually really amazing, so that you can free your heart from this lock, right? It's flowing, it's got wings, it's flying, it's flourishing, it's open. And, we want to, you can't live in that energy, frozen in time, and possibly enter into a new healthy connection, if you're in this fear, if you're in this lockdown because you're afraid of being rejected. So you really need to work through and make peace with what has happened. We also, this one, 2 of the Divine Feminine Healing cards wanted to come out. So, what other people think about me is none of my business. I choose to let it go now. So this could have been a situation where perhaps, again, this could be for a small number of you, where there was a cultural difference in your relationship, and maybe that's why it ended. Maybe there really was a lot of love there, and maybe that person just caved into the pressure of the situation, and they didn't set the boundaries, and you're just, maybe you're attracted to a certain type of person. Maybe, for example, if you're Caucasian, you're attracted to Hispanics or African Americans or something like that, or Asian men, whatever it is, and you're afraid that the next time, like, because of these cultural differences and being branded and this happening before, that would you reject me? It's like, how am I going to go? I don't want to go through this situation again where somebody's family isn't accepting or whatever it is. And you have to just know like there was a lesson in it, and just because it happened the one time, you have to let go of that fear, and let go and make peace with what happened in the past. So the advice, which is really interesting with the new moon, bring love into the situation. New moon in Aquarius. The new moon in Aquarius is the moon that's coming up. I mean, you guys, you can't make it up. So it's like, how can you balance, right? This is that black and white, the yin and yang. Balance this Queen of Swords energy with bringing yourself more back into your heart, bringing love into this situation, forgiving. I would suggest writing a letter to this person that hurt you, and trying to accept what happened. And again, if you talk to your friends or talk to somebody, a session, with a healer, with a therapist, something like that, ask, what was it trying to show you? Why did it happen? And then you can move forward, okay? So I know that was kind of a difficult one, but I think it's important to recognize those things, and to not, shutting yourself off from anyone else new coming in is, it's one thing, it's to be happy alone is a beautiful thing, right? But if you're closed off and not feeling, and you're out of balance with your head and your heart, it's really hard to truly be happy and complete, if that makes sense. So, okay, we are going to do number 3. Number 3 is dream. And I also just noticed this one too has the yellow writing, so that's interesting. Could be some confidence issues. We'll see what comes up. Ooh. Okay, so what I'm getting here, I'm picking up a situation where you and this person, I don't think you've ever been together, like actually in a relationship. I'm getting very much kind of a playboy energy, a lot of passion. So you may be dealing with a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Scorpio. Doesn't have to be, but definitely picking up on that. So from the Arrows of Love Oracle, we've got a rendezvous and the champagne. Okay, so I got excited when I saw this card at first, because I was like, oh, like this is, Valentine's Day is coming up, but I'm getting that this person has a habit of like, it's very much like Knight of Wands energy, which is very much somebody hot and cold in and out of your life. You've got the passion card, allow your heart and soul to sing with joy. But this is just, I think in this situation, it's like just a rendezvous and passion, lots of that going on. But the card in between that is time apart. Some distance will help bring clarity. So, if you're watching this, and obviously if you're not with this person and this is resonating, you may be fantasizing, with the dream of them coming back, of having another rendezvous with them. But I feel like this person, I don't know if you maybe walked away or just told them like enough, like I can't keep doing this, like we have this amazing time, we have this fun, this like crazy chemistry, intense passion, and then they don't commit. And what I'm getting is, I think they recognize that they've hurt you. We've got a lot of that remorseful energy here. We've got the Four of Cups from the Sacred Union Tarot, regrets, lamenting, sadness, which it's really interesting that it's a masculine. Doesn't have to be your situation, you could flip it around, but it's a masculine who is, crying, or just like, oh my God, what have I done? Right? So I don't know if something but again, this time apart, if you initiated the time apart, or maybe you pushed them for, kind of a commitment, and you were like, I'm done with this hot and cold stuff, like, and they ghosted or they freaked out. Some distance will help bring clarity, and I think in this situation, this person, the masculine or whichever party wasn't ready to commit, is starting to have these regrets and feel like, oh my gosh, what have I done? I also just feel like they're not in a place where they can offer you anything. They're not a king. They're not in tune with their emotions. They're not committal for a reason. They still have healing to do. They're not feeling worthy. For the shadow, we got scarcity, unworthy, lacking, inadequate, right? Again, a masculine lamenting right here. He's like, God, it's just all like in my head, like I don't have all these things. I need to be here. I need to be here in this position before I can offer more than just fun. And I think they just are feeling this pressure of a commitment when they're not feeling like they're in a good place in their lives to be able to offer what you want. Their message is, how could you love me? How could you still love me after all I've done? So this also could be a situation too where you maybe were with somebody, maybe you were even married or committed, and maybe they had a rendezvous, maybe they cheated. That's quite possible. And, you've separated because of that. And this time apart, they're clearly feeling regrets and remorse for something that happened. I mean, for us to get the Four of Cups, how could you still love me after all I've done, and the scarcity, unworthiness, right? So I'm getting, though, what you need and what the resentment here, what the forgiveness that needs to be let go of, is that this person isn't able to give you what you want and what you deserve. From the Art of Love Tarot, we've got King of Stars, Alchemist. That is the King of Wands. And so what I was saying is this person was in much more like Knight of Wands energy. But alchemist means, yes, like somebody could grow and change, but as of right now, the energy is they're very much in this lamenting, this like, I'm unworthy, I'm inadequate, and all that seems to be here, right, is a passion, right, not substance. So, and the reason I'm saying that too, what furthers this is that this isn't really a sign necessarily of them coming into this role. It certainly could be, but I would recommend not waiting around for that. There's like cracks in this facade, right? It's like you maybe viewed them as a king, or that they could actually change and transform and grow into something that's equal to what you are looking for, but there's cracks in this. And it's, see that? I mean, it's like you were hoping, you were working and wanting them to become more, to commit, to give you the things that you want, and that's not, not transpired. It's kind of an illusion. And so I kind of feel like what you need to work through with this new moon and this energy is to let go of that fantasy. With the Divine Feminine Healing, we've got equality. If someone cannot reciprocate my same efforts, I do not continue to try harder. I take it as a sign that we may not be on the same page at this time. Okay? So it's like healing that, that feminine energy of, that it's like you can tell she's very much like kind of just stoic and like empty, kind of like, wow. She's tried so hard she's tried so hard that she's kind of lost herself. Like she's kind of hollow. She's kind of a shadow. I mean, she's gaunt. Trying to fill the cracks in this, fantasy of what she wants him to be. And he's not giving equally, right? And he's feeling badly about that. Sure, yes, even if he's not expressed it, but that doesn't mean you have to wait around and keep trying. It's about equal give and take. And if that person isn't showing up and they're saying, I'm unworthy, I'm inadequate, if they're in that mindset, that it's just not equal. From the moon, we've got full moon in Cancer. A personal issue reaches resolution. So I don't know if we have a full moon in Cancer coming up anytime soon. I would have you might want to just Google that and just see what the next full moon is in. So if the next full moon or two happens to be in Cancer, that would be interesting from a timing standpoint. But more look at a personal issue reaches resolution. And I feel like this is more, within yourself, coming to the conclusion and the understanding that somebody's maybe not on the same page as you. It may just be a dream, right? It may just be a dream or a fantasy that they're going to show up this way, but there are cracks in this facade. They're not equally giving and taking. And, time apart is going to bring clarity in that, right? But I think the clarity is what I would recommend for you in this situation, if this is resonating, is that this person isn't on your level right now. They aren't able to give you what you want. They are inadequate, and it's not, putting them down. It's a fact of the matter that there are certain things that you want and you need and you expect and you deserve, and they aren't able to give it to you. It doesn't mean that you don't still love them. It doesn't mean that you don't still have passion for them. But what I'm getting is, take that passion that you were throwing into trying to create this dream, to make this dream a reality, and put it on yourself. And this personal issue reaching resolution, I think it's like, once you shift and, work on you, this person, if they're meant to, if it's meant to be a connection where they are going to come around and, you're not going to wait around for them, but you pulling away, focusing on you, your own passions, your own, fun times, celebrations, things like that, your own growth, that's going to alchemize them. They have to be the ones to do the work. You can't fix them. Okay. They have to grow and become a king on their own and show up for you. Right. But if they're in that mindset that they aren't good enough, that's nothing you can fix. And if you keep trying, you're just doing it to your detriment. Okay. So the personal issue reaching resolution, I think, is you getting that clarity that it's time to focus back inward. Right? And forgive, let them go with love. And doesn't mean you have to let go of the dream, maybe with this person. And I know it's very, very hard. I've been there, to detach from thinking that this person is going to show up. They really do want this. They're going to wake up, they're going to show up, and they're going to be all the things that I want and deserve and am looking for. You at some point, you have to let go of that. Not only is it possible that it doesn't happen because they have free will, and it may not be the person that's destined for you, right? And maybe something else that's in the works. And this was just the growth and the lesson to get you to this next level. But you holding on to that energy of attaching and thinking, well, they are going to do it. I know, it puts pressure energetically. Even if you're not saying the words, they feel that pressure. So the best thing, again, time apart brings clarity. And it may very well, once you pull your energy back, not only are you happier focusing on yourself and you're not draining yourself, throwing yourself into a fantasy that isn't coming to fruition, but that it might also give them clarity, right, to get in this energy to be like, oh my God, what have I done? I don't want to lose this person. I am going to start working on myself. I am, going to do these things. So again, you don't wait around for that. But I think the clarity you need is that the time apart is a good thing. And it's going to, again, with the new moon coming in to, look and examine, and I would maybe write them a letter, but sit down and manifest, say, write something like I give thanks for. These are the things that I want, somebody to show up in a partnership. This is awesome. I am so thankful for this. And, I guarantee you, probably when you start seeing, all the things that you're wanting, you're realizing that this person, there was very little that they were actually providing for you. It was more this fantasy of what their potential was and what you wanted them to step into that role, right? So I I think that's a very strong or good necessary step in reaching this resolution, is recognizing maybe that you were loving a fantasy or a potential of someone versus what they actually were offering you at the time. Again, doesn't mean that they can't grow and change, and but you're not going to sit around waiting for them to come back and do that. You're going to go choose yourself, choose your own passions, and your own dreams. Pursue your own dreams, and then the only beautiful things can come from that. So I hope that resonated for you. And if you'd like to look into your specific situation, you can contact me, and I would love to book a session with you to work through some of these issues. Take care.